This video is sponsored by the good folks at
PowerCircle. We get to the check.
in association with
Cookup.
Yo, it's Dennis Moore here with another special episode of In the Stew, where we go behind the scenes and give an in-depth look at the day in the life of artists and producers, doing what they do best in their respective fields. Follow me as we go from studio to soundstage, video shoot to photo shoot with more action and less talk. But before we get into it, make sure y'all subscribe, hit that like button, smack that notification bell for our latest updates on our signature and upcoming shows, vlogs, videos, skits, and more. Let's start the show. Yo, another special episode of In the Stew. Y'all already know what the lick read. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. Hey, you right there. You watch the videos to the end. You know, I ain't made a beat in a minute, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and cook up a beat one time for the fun time. And let's see what it happens. I'm thinking about doing some soul sample. I'm not sure whether I want to go trap. So I got my Pro Tools up here. I'm gonna cut this mic on and get this sound right. So I'm gonna get back with you in 1 second. Another typical cook-up session, you know, just getting a feel for the keys. I ain't made a beat in a minute. Just gonna go ahead and go at it, come up with a sample real quick. So I got a chance to dig through a few samples. I came up with a mashup of samples, you know what I'm saying? I started off listening to, obviously, you hear that dub music and then you hear that, grab the dub music sample. You know, I'm a real big fan of dub music. For those of y'all don't know the difference between reggae music, dub music, dance hall, it's a lot of different subgenres within the reggae culture. I ain't gonna say misinformed, but allow me to enlighten you. Now, I'm a fan of like all genres of music. I like to think, as a producer, I like to think outside the box. You know, I started off as a rapper primarily. I grew up in a household where we listened to a lot of different genres of music, you know what I'm saying? Not just R&B, not just hip hop, but we also listen to doo-wop, classical music, definitely reggae music. I got some family from the Caribbean. We got family from some of everywhere. I like to think my musical tastes kind of come from various family members. And I also developed my own musical taste. Being that I had all this music in my head, I knew one day that I would be a producer one day. When it comes to sampling or digging in the crate, so to speak. Some people pull from jazz, some people pull from funk and all these different things, and so do I. But I usually go for what gravitates me. So the way I like to sample is I like to do, sometimes when I exercise and I warm up a bit when doing a cook-up session, sometimes I just go in and I will pick random records and go from there. And then so as you're hearing in this particular beat, in this particular cook-up session, I actually took two samples. I went soul, you know, your traditional soul, 60s soul, and then you got the Caribbean aspect of it, which is the dub music. I'm a big fan of dub music. For those that don't know what dub music is, it's a subgenre in reggae. You know, you got dance hall, you got traditional reggae, and then you got dub music. And it's a couple other subgenres in between there as well, especially within like the Rastafarian culture and things like that. There's plenty of information out there, and there's plenty of itinerary out there if you want to know what dub music is, like what you're hearing right now. This is a form of reggae called dub music. So I decided that I would use it as a dope intro when I just went in. You know, we just doing a cook-up section. The way I like to exercise when I'm doing beats is I like to sample. So I know that's like not the most popular thing in the world these days, because obviously most people do original compositions more, and we should normalize original composition. Ain't nothing like sampling. I love sampling. I'm from that era where, you know, the break beats and sampling and coming up with all these different obscure samples. So in the 90s, if you listen to 90s hip hop, some of my favorite producers, they all pull from like jazz, 60s rock, and all these different things like that, funk of course. And so I decided that I would go left and go 60s soul and dub music. So I just kind of took 2 samples and just kind of went in, came up with a bass line, came up with some drums, you know, threw the drums on that thing and came up with the bed right now. So, you know, we just gonna see it. I don't know if I'm gonna keep it or not. I might keep it. I don't know who's to say. I might keep it. I don't know.
Just change the end.
Just change the end
Just
part.
change the end. You good. Just the end.
I'm keeping it anyway.
Just the end. Just the end.
Cause I can use that.
Bring you back in.
Yeah. Let me bring it down some.
At that time, so this is how I normally exercise. I don't know how. All producers, I feel like they got their own ritual of how they make beats. Some people make 1,000 beats in a day. Some people take maybe 5 minutes or so. That probably took about maybe 10, 15 minutes. No more than 20 minutes to get the bed down. And of course, you can layer it out and, you know, add your little extra intricacies to it. But for the most, this is what I came up with. Just a warm-up beat. So this is how I normally warm up. Sometimes I do mashups. Like I might take maybe like 4 or 5 different samples and mash them up all together, come up with a beat, whether it be trap. So what you're hearing right now is you're hearing dub, you're hearing soul, 60 soul. Right now you're hearing dub music, 60 soul music with a sprinkle of trap in that thing. And this is what I came up with.